any journey, whether it's a new product journey or a transformation journey, or the next travel experience that you're going to take in your personal life, must start with acceptance and some form of recalibration. You must ask yourself, where are we and where do we want to get to? In the case of SPH, we had to accept that we are transforming. Media business is big time disrupted. Our print newspaper revenues are falling. Most of the folks are reading and consuming their news in media from Google or Facebook or from other social media. So we have to first accept that we are no longer a monopoly. And in that process, focus the entire team and the organization towards end outcomes and the mission. In that process, you will have to empower employees, engage customers, transform your products, optimize your operations. But at the same time, you have to be very strategic, very intentional and systematic about it. What we observe typically in monopolies is that a culture of complacence sets in, a sense of comfort sets in, that that mindset has to be gotten out of. So that's where we are. Particularly for me, I think it's not only acceptance of where you are and where you need to be, but at the same time, recalibration and a promise to yourself. Recalibration of your speed. I came into SPH from a rocket ship of Grab. We had just completed Uber's acquisition in Southeast Asia. And here I was in a team which was learning to ship products like product designers and product managers would do, like any modern technology company would do. We were a media company. So there needs to be recalibration, because in such an environment, it is very easy for bad habits to slide by. And so there is this concept of, I strongly believe in atomic habits and being 1% better. How do you drill that into an organization? How do you make people respond that way? Is a recalibration on your part. So where do we begin? The first and the best place to begin with is on the ground. Do your rows, thorns, buds exercises. What you learn on the floor, and I was at a leadership position. So what you learn on the floor from people, from engineers on the ground, from designers on the ground, from editors on the ground, from journalists on the ground, is just invaluable. And that is where you will get the first principles of what you can do next to make things better. So, translating your retrospective fundamentals and frameworks, a sprint retrospective framework into a format where you're trying to figure out the lay of the land is the first step that you must begin with. And I can guarantee you that you'll get pointers for how to make progress further. That's because with acceptance and listening comes the openness of mind and senses to really call out what's holding us back. And that is really the key. If you cannot identify and call out what's holding you back, you will never be able to act on it. The second part of that journey is change the narrative, make the entire organization outcome focused, audience centric, and build a problem solving mindset in them. And I mean, if you can apply this to a team culture or to an organization wide culture, or even to your small scrum team, or to your small product team. The principles remain the same, whether you're in a startup or in a large organization. And this is really key, because once you focus the entire team on a common business metric, on a common goal that you want to achieve, everybody starts moving in that direction. It's easier said than done, but that's where we have to begin. And fine, and the next, being the beholders of product and design, you have to stick to the tenets of building strong products. In an organization like a media company that I work in right now and lead the product and design teams, you have to focus the entire team in building the right products. Make them focus on who's the customer. Make them focus on why you're doing what you are doing. Be extremely data driven and make sure that you have metrics. And as has been said, fail early, test and learn, and iterate. At this point, I can't emphasize enough the need to build the right products that customers love. Focus on the who your customers are, what their needs are, what their context and possibilities are, and do not forget the limitations of their environment or the technology that they may be using or for their business to succeed. Why is really important, because unless you know why it makes sense for your user to solve that problem, why that outcome is important, you're not going to be able to maximize the chances of your success. And finally, know your North Star metrics, know your business model. Unless you are able to connect what your customers want with what your business needs, you will not be able to build or let alone ship something that is useful, that is going to be useful for them. And if you don't have metrics, please start there. Start in your team, and if and then mobilize that through examples to your entire organization, working with your leadership teams.